So a few months ago, I wanted to make a YouTube thumbnail. So I went to YouTube and I typed in the search bar, how to make a YouTube thumbnail. And of course, YouTube will give you so many options. And yeah, like I always do, I watched a few. And in a few, I mean, I watched a lot of them. I watched many of the videos and I watched. Those times I consumed YouTube crazily, and I watched about 5, 6, 7, a lot of them. And then in all the videos I was watching, I was taking notes of the softwares that they were using. And I'll see GIMP, I'll see some in Canva, I'll see some in Photoshop. But the one I realized was very common was Photoshop, and it made it look as if Photoshop was for professionals. Maybe it is for professionals. So yeah, I went ahead, I'm like, I looked at the specs of my PC, which by then was so bad, so I tried Canva, and Canva was doing a great job. I tried GIMP, I was liking it there, but then I realized that I wanted to learn other things, and then the more I wanted to learn, I realized most of them were using Photoshop. So I downloaded Photoshop, and then I had Photoshop on my PC, readily installed. But till this day, I could still remember the expression on my face when I opened Photoshop for the first time. As I stared at the interface of Photoshop, it stared back straight at me, and with so much disappointment, I was just looking at everything. As if that was the first day I was driving, like this kind of experience. You see so many things. I could see I could see a lot of things, all the various tools. I could see the right side, and I could see the middle, and I could see the top, and I'm like, hey, I just want to make a YouTube thumbnail. That is all I want to make. But what from all of this? But of course, I was watching a video and I was following from a video, so I just followed along with the video and did exactly what the video asked me to do, and voila, I had my thumbnail, my first thumbnail out. It was good. I used Photoshop and it was good. If I say it was good, I mean I did something for the first timer, and to be honest, that is one of the major setbacks with using Photoshop. It's not that you can't use Photoshop. Everybody can use. I can use, you can use. You just have to keep using it, and then you get better as the more you try stuff out, you experiment, and then you watch videos, tutorials, you follow, you get to understand what certain things are and how to use them and how to make magic happen. And to be honest, if Photoshop mastery is 100%, I'm still probably around 40%, and there's so much more I could do. Some of the things I've never even used, some of the tools I've never even used. Some of them I only got to use as I was learning some other new things. I was asking, how do I do this? And then I got to see that, okay, this is what and how I can do. And the biggest setback for Photoshop, I think, for most people is the interface and getting accustomed to that interface. It is very, very, very not welcoming. For me, it wasn't welcoming, and I'm wondering how I got past it. And I'm going to share how I got past it and maybe how we can get past that interface of Photoshop and start a course together where we could pick one or two things, learn how to make so many things in Photoshop. So I kept watching more videos, I kept trying stuff. For instance, I wanted to click here and mistakenly I clicked there, and that mistake I did something. I'm like, oh, okay, so if I want to do this, this is how I do it. And that thing, like those tiny mistakes have made me learn so much. And Photoshop kept upgrading, and then I kept learning a whole lot of stuff. And it just kept getting better for me as the days passed, and I kept trying stuff. But so first I went from I want to make my thumbnail to I want to make another thumbnail to I want to make a better thumbnail than I did the other time to how do I get this done in Photoshop. All of that I was on YouTube asking and then watching videos to, okay, I heard Photoshop can make flyers. How do I make a flyer? Then I go and I'll be trying stuff. There was one time I watched, I tried to follow a video on YouTube as to how to make a flyer. There was no voiceover in the video. I was just clicking and here and there. I tried. Look, I gave up. I never finished that particular flyer because I didn't understand anything. It was so confusing, and it was some way. And to that extent, I stopped using Photoshop for some months. I tried GIMP. I tried Canva. Canva was great. I mean, it's so great. Canva is like, I recommend it for you if you want to start graphic design. was great, but later, some way somehow, I found my way back in Photoshop. I think when I got to photography, I found my way back in Photoshop, and well, now I couldn't escape. I was forced to learn how to use and work with that interface and get things done. Because Photoshop, you have to maybe do 5 clicks, but in Canva, it's just a click. The curse of knowledge is something that we all suffer from. It's simple, you probably didn't know. This is how it goes. The moment you get to know something, you subconsciously tend to assume that everybody knows it and that everybody's on the same level of understanding as you do. And when you are speaking, you tend to think they already know. So you don't get to explain certain things. And it's a big problem when it comes to tutorials. When I began watching YouTube videos, there were some videos that were made by, let me say, very experts, like experts in the industry. And I never understood them. But then some of them, the person might just be an ordinary YouTube creator, but then I get to understand that same thing more because the person is speaking like a beginner, and I understand. I won't call myself a beginner, neither will I call myself an expert, far from that. I mean, I'm somewhere in the middle of the road, and that is where I want to be. I want to be like a guide to help assist you or anybody who is going to watch this video to be able to make meaning and understand anything with that horrible Photoshop interface. So we're going to go all the way from making simple shapes, making simple flyers, making simple thumbnails, making simple graphics, anything that you want to do with Photoshop. You're going to learn how to get all of that done. Image manipulation, color grading of pictures, playing with adjustment layers, mask, photo, editing photos, retouching photos, everything that can be done with Photoshop. You're going to get that done. And I'm going to share my experiences as well. And if there's anything you like to learn on Photoshop, maybe I've never even touched that, but you would like me to explain that, you can let me know in the comment section of any video, and I'll be there with a video to reply you. Guys, I look forward to see you, learning with you, and upgrading our skills together. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, click on that video to download Photoshop and get started with me, and I'll see you in that video. Without much ado, guys, I'm going to catch you in the next video. Peace.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.